ever wondered what it'd be like to play a game with the narrative potential of Reverse 1999 and the combat of Punishing Gray Raven? Because that is what Black Beacon is, and my god, let me tell you, the devs absolutely nail it every single aspect. I haven't enjoyed a gacha game from a smaller studio like this since, well, I guess Reverse 1999. From its story, to its characters, to its voice acting and setting. Spoiler alert, if there is a worst gacha ever out there, this is about as far from it as you can get. But let me tell you why. Hey, my name is Stix and welcome back to the Worst Gacha Ever, a video series where I discuss a gacha and tell you guys what I thought in explicit detail as we attempt to find the worst gacha ever. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that little bell notification. That way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post every Sunday. Do not miss out. Now go grab a vanilla Coke, a nacho cheese bag of Doritos, and let's jump right in. You start things off with this beautiful intro. You're introduced to the core cast of characters, Zero, Nana, good old Smash, and right off the bat, you're gonna notice, wow, some of these characters really actually have varied skin tones. It's kinda unusual for a gacha game. Yeah, the characters are actually quite varied. You have traditional Asian-looking characters like Min, Cheng, and Li Chi. You have Greek-looking characters like Logos, lighter characters like Asti and Viola, and then darker characters like Nana, Ninsar, and Enki. And you know what? These characters aren't merely skin colors. They're not here for the sake of skin colors to fulfill a quota. These are good characters. These are characters with good developed personalities and phenomenal appearances. You can tell a lot of time and effort went into designing each and every character, 4-star and 5-star. Oh, you could never. Since we're on the topic of characters, as of this beta test, there are 17 total heroes that you can pull for. 6 of these are 5-star, and 11 of them are 4-star, which is a pretty good ratio of rare to common units. A more entertaining ratio, though, is the male to female ratio. There are 4 male characters and 13 female. At least I think there's 4 male. I don't know, Li Chi looks prettier than half the female characters, and I'm certain it's secretly someone like Sheik in disguise. Characters are beautiful. They are highly detailed. They're filled out in all the right places. And they have a number of different body types. Arishan is much more athletic than Nana, for example, but is in no way inferior. I do want to point out, though, since we're examining Nana, I wouldn't mind taking an extended period of time investigating what those symbols on her legs say, or you know, mean for research purposes. An inquisitive mind, that is all. Each character has their own faction. In the case of Nana, it's Emeon, Ming's is Weishi, Florence's is Florence, which is honestly a little unusual. Is she named after her faction, or is her faction named after her? These are questions that are gonna drive me crazy because we'll likely never learn the answer to them. Navigating to the character management tab, you'll notice several options toward the left of the screen. Costume, every character has a costume already. However, they're all merely recolors at present, which is admittedly a little disappointing, but honestly, costumes are already a built-in feature, which is fantastic since we know definitively that more are on the way. There are weapon skins, but I haven't found any implemented yet. There is the tutorial, which walks you through how to play the character, but we're all professional, highly skilled gacha gamers here. We don't need tutorials. Heck, for half the games we play, we don't even need 2 hands. I don't mean to gloat here. I'm half Asian. Most of the time, 1 hand is a little too much. You know what, in retrospect, maybe that came out wrong. Clicking develop takes you to the individual character management screen. Here you'll level each hero through materials that you farm. Upon hitting each 10 level interval after level 20, you'll be required to break through your limits, increasing the level cap and growing more powerful. This also costs farmable materials. You'll increase each character's potential via duplicate character copies. These are obtained through pulling in the gacha banners or through the cash shop, which we'll touch on a little later. These all provide passive boosts to your stats or abilities. You'll farm and pull for weapons. Each character uses a different weapon type, with weapons being levelable and enhanceable. Much like the breakthrough feature for characters, you'll utilize materials to increase your weapon's level cap. Each character has their own skills: basic attack, 2 skills, and an ultimate, a combo, and passive. Nana has an interesting ability, Lunar Waltz, where she leaps forward and wraps her thighs around your head, taking you to heaven. Not because, you know, you're between her thighs, it's because of the things she can do with those thighs. Which, you know, in retrospect still kind of sounds bad. After wrapping her thighs around you, she leaves you limp, flaccid. Wait, no, how does this continue to sound worse? She uses her thick thighs to drain you for every inch. Okay, you know what? I give up. Unfortunately, I have not unlocked the ancient mark yet, so I can't say what this is or does, but that's the rough extent of character customization, which is pretty on par with the other gacha games that I've played, and doesn't really require too much micromanagement. Gameplay is pretty simple, which honestly isn't a bad thing at all. It's full action, allowing you to freely attack and utilize abilities without restriction or a target. What's more, certain characters possess unique area traversal abilities that allow you to bridge gaps or achieve tasks that you wouldn't otherwise be able to, which is honestly a very cool addition. Unlike games like Ether Gazer or Punishing Grey Raven, where stages exist mostly to engage an enemy, Black Beacon makes certain that every single stage serves a purpose. You freely run around, exploring, engaging, interacting, solving puzzles, talking to NPCs, fighting your way through waves of enemies before eliminating the stage boss, or completing the stage objective. As we noted earlier, every character possesses a basic attack, 2 unique skills, and an ultimate. There are also what can only be described as unique intro and outro skills that are similar to, but not entirely like Wuthering Waves. You can trigger and separately select combos when an indicator appears beside the character portrait towards the right of the screen. Combat is very fast, fluid, and at times incredibly flashy. When swapping between characters, making full use of all of their abilities, you rarely touch the ground. You are the most versatile, agile, time-traveling killing machine, engulfing the entire battlefield in AoEs. Or if you're Nana, strangling them with your thighs. Special effects look phenomenal, attack animations aren't stiff, although you likely will be after Nana wraps her thighs around you. Running animations look good, especially Nana. You have access to a pendant, which is a piece of story gear. It allows you to freeze time enemies as well, destroy environmental objects, providing additional levels of depth to an already relatively deep game. Black Beacon features numerous game modes, the main story, which as of this beta test is 3 chapters long. Each chapter is anywhere from 15 to 25 stages, most of them combat stages with story padding it out, and a few that are purely narrative. Each stage costs stamina to enter, including resource stages. Resource stages are where you farm materials to upgrade your character's level, weapon levels, you can farm coin, breakthrough materials, skill scrolls. Admittedly, this is where you'll spend the vast majority of your stamina. Thankfully, there is a sweep function built into the game, and it doesn't require sweep tickets to utilize. Am I the only one that absolutely loads sweep tickets? When you're required to farm tickets just so you can farm to stages that you don't want to spend time repeating, that is genuinely one of my least favorite parts of this genre. Do not elongate our time spent in arduous activities. Make it more time friendly. Trust me, your players will love you for it. The EX mode consists of several different activities, character and system tutorials, which none of us need. I mean, come on, we played Genshin Impact, right? Genshin Impact, as we all know, according to Genshin players, has the deepest, most complex action combat system in the genre, making Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, Punishing Grey Raven, Ether Gazer, and every other gacha game out there that utilizes an action combat system look vastly inferior in comparison. Brute Force mode and Echoes of the Past I had not unlocked, unfortunately, due to them being gated behind completion of the story, which I just was not interested in doing during a test phase. Otherwise, playing through all of it again at launch would be a chore, and I'd likely end up bored. I cannot bring myself to do the whole replaying everything from the beginning thing. And that is the gameplay loop so far. You do the story, you complete the stages, you grind materials. Ooh, speaking of the story, can I just point out that this is easily in my top 10 gacha games for story alone? Think Reverse 1999 meets Punishing Grey Raven. It has the dark aesthetic of both, but the timey-wimey aspect of Reverse 1999, where we move throughout history, engaging with different civilizations, different historical figures. It is absolutely incredible. The storytelling, not just the story, but the storytelling itself was incredibly well done. The characters are well written. The story wasn't convoluted. The English voice acting was top tier, easily top 10, just like the story. How a game like this came absolutely out of nowhere baffles me. This is one of the highest quality releases I've seen, and I cannot wait to see what other timelines we visit. Going to Rome in Chapter 2, spoiler alert by the way, was actually one of the coolest things, man. And I have no doubt Egypt, maybe Aztec, and likely Japanese and Chinese cultures and regions are in the works. If you're a fan of storytelling, you cannot miss this one. One thing I do really appreciate is how free-to-play friendly this game is and how rewarded we are for merely playing the game. Take the cash shop, for example. Now, the cash shop isn't complete. This is the currently available beta cash shop. Not only can you purchase 4-star characters here, you can also purchase 5-star characters here. The 7-day quest event rewards you with currency, XP, and materials for logging in each day. Completing all of the daily quests rewards you with a total of 12 standard pulls. The new guild leader privileges, oh. Yeah, you can definitely tell these devs are ex-Kudo. The text over there has a typo, where the text up there does not. Typical Kudo misspellings. It seems like it transcends studios. Either way, completing objectives rewards you with bonus stamina. The Vision expansion event is a leveling event rewarding you with 50 standard pulls and 1500 premium currency, which is the price of another 10 pull, totaling 60 pulls for 72 total with the inclusion of the 7-day quest. The 7-day sign-in event rewards you with a total of 10 standard and 10 limited pulls for logging in for 7 days during the event period. While there are a few other events, this is what stood out to me. Because at the end of the day, we received 72 standard pulls and 20 limited pulls, totaling 92 pulls just for logging in and playing the game for what? A week? That is disregarding all of the currency that you earn in-game, or what you'll earn as a part of the launch event, including the pre-registration milestones and the download milestones. We're looking at hundreds of free pulls here. Speaking of all of this currency, let's talk the gacha. At the beginning of the game, you're provided a newbie banner consuming standard pulls. After 30 pulls total, you can select between 5 available 5-star characters. Remember, there are only 6 5-star characters in total. Even if you pull a 5-star character before you hit your 30 pity, like I did with Erisham, you'll be able to obtain the selected character separately. Incredibly free-to-play friendly. Then we have the standard banner, which rewards you with a 4-star character every 10 pulls and a 5-star every 70 pulls. Pity is set to 70, lower than Wuwa's 80 and Genshin's 90. Character rates are pretty decent as well. Not great, but not at all bad. There are 2 limited banners, the limited event banner, which lasts the duration of the event. In this case, it was 25 days, where you're guaranteed the limited banner character at 70 pulls, 70 being the hard pity. You will 100% get the limited character by 70 pulls because there is no 50-50 present. Every pull after your 40th also increases in probability, pretty much guaranteeing you never hit the 70 pity. I absolutely abhor 50-50 in my gacha games, so I deeply appreciate the limited event characters are not gated behind this disgustingly predatory business model. The other limited banner is not guaranteed, unfortunately. 70 pulls does guarantee you a 5-star character, but with a 70% chance of it being the limited character in question. Regardless, if you fail to obtain them, your next 5-star, even if it is at the 3rd pull, will be the guaranteed limited character. So while not 50-50, and trust me, 70-30 is definitely preferable, this is still a little disappointing to see. Thankfully, this seems to be, for whatever reason, a yearly banner since it expires in, well, just under a year. There's a weapon banner with a guaranteed 5-star weapon of your choice at 50 pulls. You can manually select any weapon you want. Once again, this is fantastic. I cannot imagine a gacha game having a 50-50 on a weapon banner. That would just be so horribly predatory. That would be an utter disrespect to their players. Oh wait, this game shouldn't be called Black Beacon. It should be called Shining Beacon, because it is a shining beacon of hope for the genre. Proof that you don't need to be an open world gacha game like Wangyua, Ananta, Azure, Parmelia, Arknights, Enfield, Neverness, and so many others, all trying to replicate the Genshin formula with a twist. What we need to be a good game are just several good components put together into a single cohesive, enjoyable piece of work. And that is undeniably what Black Beacon is. I genuinely hope that they have plans to release this on PC, because it needs a PC release. Now let's break down my rating. Content, 8 out of 10. This is a beta test, so I'm well aware that content is a little limited. I don't expect there to be too much, but for a first beta, it is packed with things to do, especially when you deploy into a stage. Difficulty, 6 out of 10. Honestly, the game has a lot of interesting mechanics where if you don't pay attention, you'll die. Free-to-play friendliness, 10 out of 10. Hundreds of free pulls, tons of premium currency rewarded in-game, no 50-50, free 5-star selector after 30 pulls, 50 pulls, and a guaranteed weapon of your choice. Oh my god, absolutely stellar work. Gameplay, 9 out of 10. The combat was unbelievably fluid, everything was responsive, flashy, and at times I felt like so much was happening, my brain just couldn't keep up. Graphics, 8 out of 10. There were definitely a few issues with anti-aliasing, but otherwise this is a gorgeous game. Characters were stunning, environments looked great, and abilities looked fantastic. Sound, 7 out of 10. Fantastic music, fantastic soundtrack, every area had unique music, and the story was only complemented by the musical choices. Story, 10 out of 10. I cannot tell you how goddamn good this story is. You have to experience it for yourself. It felt like I was reliving Reverse 1999 all over again, and I couldn't believe it. Voice acting, 10 out of 10. Some of the best English voice acting in a gacha game, on par with Reverse 1999, which has one of the top 3 best English voice casts. World, 8 out of 10. The game was lore-rich, there was so much to do, there were so many things to see, engage, and interact with. Traversing time opened up so many incredible opportunities for world growth. Fun, 10 out of 10. I did not want to stop playing. Everything about this game made it so much fun to me. I just wish it were fully PC compatible. I so desperately need this on PC. You do not understand, man. Overall, I would give this 86x Kudo devs out of 100x Hoyo devs, or 8.6 out of 10. This is one of the best upcoming gacha games I've played. Hey, where do you think you're going? I see what you're doing there. I see you navigating on over, scrolling on over to that X button. Don't you dare. What I need you to do is take a moment and click one of the videos that are about to appear as soon as I'm done talking. And trust me, you're gonna wanna.